evening, sports fans, and welcome to Eastern Stadium for tonight's Midwest Premier League contest featuring Tulip City United and your Lansing Common Football Club. We'd like to give a shout out to 4th, 5th, and 6th graders with the Post Oak Penguins soccer team who are joining the teams as they walk out onto the field tonight. Starting tonight for Tulip City, in jersey 00, Andrew Marsh. Number 5, Rukundo Emmanuel. Number 6, Nick Beal. Number 7, Cody Eggers. Number 14, Evan Pollins-Voigt. Number 15, Nicholas Kubert. Number 17, Isaiah Arredondo.
It is finally here, the final month of the regular season in the dog days of summer as we return to Eastern Stadium. 3 massive points on the line as the Robins of Lansing Common set to take on Tulip City United. Good evening, everybody. Welcome inside the press box of Eastern Stadium here in Lansing, Michigan, the capital city of this great state. Cameron McLaren joined alongside Joshua Pugh. Joshua, huge 3 points on the line. There's title implications in the next few weeks. There's a lot of soccer that's left to be played, but there's a lot that could happen within the next 90 minutes.
Huge 3 points for Lansing Common. And on the other side, everything to play for Tulip City, as we know they take this particular match very seriously no matter what's going on at the table. Isn't that right, Cam?
Yes, they are. Yes, they do, I should say. Tulip City has defeated Lansing Common last year in the Grand River Open Cup. A late winner off the head of Levi Crook saw them defeat the Robins here at Eastern Stadium by a score of 1-0. The Robins have yet to take full 3 points from this visiting Tulip City United team. And Tulip City, they're playing, their season right now doesn't hang on the balance of their shoulders. It hangs on the west side of the state, as in just under an hour, United West and West Michigan Bearings will square off. That game, depending on if West Michigan takes all 3 points, that would see Tulip City United's quests for the Great Lakes West Division title go awry. Other side, though, Lansing Common, as you said, a huge 3 points to play for, but it really, now it rests solely in their hands after last week's loss to Thundercats.
That's right, Cam. A lot of math out there in the Midwest Premier League, but not here. Here we just got 90 minutes of soccer, and that's good for me. I don't know about you, and that's probably good for a lot of our viewers as well, because there are no shortage of outcomes that we could see all over the state in the Midwest Premier League, as there's been no shortage of crazy, unpredictable outcomes over the course of this season. But what we do know tonight is there's a lot of quality all over the field for both these sides, and both of them have a lot to play for and really want to take all 3 tonight.
And as we take a look at the Lansing Common starting lineup, it's a shakeup in goal. Spencer Spiegel will start between the sticks. The back 4 of Hungerford, Ben Derby, Kevin Payne, and Aiden Antcliffe up front, or in midfield, I should say. The trio, or a duo, of Jack Beck and Mark Wishmeyer along the wings. Luke Kalovitz makes his return to the lineup alongside Jack Voigt. And up top, Seth Russ, and making his first career start for the Robins is Fedi Omar, the brother of former Lansing Common player Shedi Omar. What do you like about this roster today, Josh?
A lot to like about the roster, Cam. A lot of changes, as we know that we often see throughout the season for the Robins. Sam Spiegel was absolutely playing his heart out in the minutes that he's gotten this year, and Holden Clark not available today, but has surprised a lot of people with the performances that he put in behind the sticks. A lot of quality on the back for Lansing Common, as we saw that throughout last season for them. A lot of quality along the back for Tulip City as well. They've got so much confidence in their back 4. They have no defensive substitutions today. They also, like Lansing Common, switch between 2 keepers often, Andrew Marsh, and then not their backup keeper that they're traveling with today. Their typical number 2 is unavailable, but a lot of confidence in Andrew Marsh, just as Lansing Common has a lot of confidence in Sam Spiegel today. So a lot of talent on defense for both sides. but a lot of firepower for both sides too. And so, as I said, both sides will be looking for all 3 points. Nobody playing for a draw here today, and either side has the quality to score a lot today.
And as we are underway here in Lansing's capital city, a contentious battle between two of the title favorites in the Great Lakes West Division, as we'll get things underway quickly with Kirby Eggers in the middle of the park.
Kirby Eggers is somebody who's played a lot of minutes for Tulip City this year, scored a lot of goals for them as well. And the other change that we're going to see today, Fetty Omar and Seth Russ both playing in the 9 in the striker position for Lansing Common. Both players have been performing really, really well in training. Brandon Dixon, ready to come off the bench, provides some extra firepower in that striker position for Lansing Common as well.
As Lansing Common without one of their starting midfielders in Munir Shirali. It'll be Kalovitz now along the wing. Played it forward, looking for Voigt along the far side. Marsh quick off his line to negate the danger.
And Jack Voigt in the midfield today for Lansing Common. Once again, somebody who's got a lot of versatility, has played winger for these Robins. Played a little bit of a striker last year in tying Gershom Sylvain for the Golden Boot in the Midwest Premier League.
Now out to Voigt along the far wing. Back to Antcliffe, who get there just before it hit the touchline.
As I was speaking of all the firepower for the Tulips today, Jordan Walker was right up there in the final standings for Golden Boot for Tulip City. He's on the bench for them today, so that speaks to the amount of talent and the amount of confidence they have in their starting 11.
Played back for Poland's Voigt. Played up and away from Russ. It'll be out for a common throw. Now in the park for Omar. Voigt, the left foot, deflected on its way in as Marsh and Russ entangled right inside the 6-yard box. The starting keeper for Tulip City able to get there cleanly.
Saucy chip from Jack Voigt there, but almost took Andrew Marsh by surprise, but nothing doing as it was right to him.
Playing it forward for Kirby Eggers. Now along the far wing to Nick Beal. Eggers, pestered by Wishmeyer, played in along the near side. Arredondo, quick off his line was Spiegel. And again, danger on both sides averted by both of these starting keepers as you see Sam Spiegel rocking the giraffe kit. A fan favorite goalkeeper kit, I should say.
That's right. You saw late last night, for those who are still frequenting twitter.com, a tweet with a giraffe emoji and a soccer ball emoji. We know they love soccer over at Lansing Facts.
Yes, they do, as I believe Omar inside the 6, negated by Paulins Voigt. It'll be sent out once again for a common throw, played quickly off the right boot of Jack Voigt along the far side as Tulip City regains possession.
Paulins Voigt, K College product, one of 3 along the back line for Tulip City, who plays in the MIAA. You know, being in Holland, they see a lot of Hope College soccer. They know there's a lot of quality in the Division III throughout Michigan.
Played back for Derby, looking for the run of Antcliffe and Voigt, the two of them mixed up, and once again out for another throw-in. As what has been a common theme for Lansing Common starting games, rather slowly, slightly lethargic, as a lot of the players last weekend blaming the poor air quality due to the Canadian wildfires that plagued them throughout practice all week and throughout the game. As this ball played through for Omar, it'll run out. Marsh first there to get it. He'll clear it back up the park.
Dangerous run by Andrew Marsh there, but managed to beat Fetty Omar to the ball. Mark Wishmeyer dispossessed. You don't see that happen very often.
Turned over now to Brummels. Now along the far wing for Beal. Still Tulip City. Back to Brummels. Played it at the byline, looking back for Emmanuel. It'll go whistled for an offside, as the bench for Tulip City is not too happy about that. They believe that Emmanuel's goal should have counted.
The whistle and the flag coming well before the header.
And as it stands, it's Lansing Common who have still negated any danger from the visitors, as Spiegel will restart play. Up for Voigt. Omar working along the far side against Cromwell, instead dispossessed to Paulins Voigt. Now to Arredondo. Back to Lugo. It's Tulip City working the one-touch passes to start to break this defensive structure of Lansing Common.
We talked about the MIAA talent on this Tulip City side, and they've, of course, used Hope as a pipeline, but they've got some Western Michigan players as well, as you saw the 1-2 between Beal and Brummels there.
Voigt over to Russ. The left foot got it all wrong on the release. Ushered out for a goal kick. As you said, this is a team that has not had a lot of turnover in Tulip City. A lot of players from this squad returned this season. Names like Jackson Strabel, Marcus Lugo, Jared Cromwell.
But the turnover they have had, they've found some diamonds in the rough. They've got Ricondo Emmanuel out of Muskegon Community College in their starting 11. They've also got Daniel Ariano starting off the bench today, also out of Muskegon Community College. They also got a couple guys from Davenport as the ball goes out for a corner to the Robins.
That one conceded by Paulins Voigt. Be the first set piece opportunity for the Robins, just under 7 minutes in. As we said, no Munir Shirali. So it looks as though it'll be the other midfielder of the duo. Be Mark Wishmeyer to take this one.
You always miss Mooney on set pieces, but we all know that Mark the Shark, plenty of quality from anywhere on the pitch on the set piece as well.
Wishmeyer lining up for the out-swinging corner. Played down low, faked, back, right in at Marsh. Still in the 6, loose. Derby tried to get on the end of it. It's ushered out once again for a throw-in. But what an opportunity there for Jack Beck.
The double dummy, I gotta say, a little surprised to see that get all the way through Tulip City's defense inside the 18, but it does. Really quality chance. Marsh unable to hang on, but Robbins unable to convert the rebound.
Hungerford doing well past 2 defenders. Wishmeyer tried to play it through. Instead, back out to Beck along the halfway line. Mr. Robbins looking to push the momentum forward. It's misplayed out to the far wing. As Tulip City once again reclaiming possession momentarily, though, given away by Kubert. Up for Russ. Kalovitz, the late challenge there, didn't clip the defender.
Good to see the boys kind of back on the front foot here. It's a little slightly different offensive shape, but conceding possession early on in a way that you don't typically see them do. And they were a little wobbly at first there, but that set piece seemed to kind of set things right, and we're once again back in possession.
Antcliffe, the first touch let him down. Instead, it rolls out for another Tulip City goal kick.
No sooner did I say that than it rolls over the goal line, huh?
As we stated earlier off the broadcast, sometimes the universe just works in mysterious ways.
That's right. That's right. Nice looking crowd here at Eastern Stadium today. You never know on the cloudy, sort of gloomy days like today, but couldn't ask for better weather in July. Maybe a bit chilly for some's liking, but not mine. Couldn't be happier with the 72 degrees at kickoff and the cloud cover.
After the past couple of weeks where it's just been red hot, scorching here in mid-Michigan. Nice little reprieve with the weather. Russ looking for Omar, couldn't get it to him as the trio of Voigt, Russ, and Fetty Omar looking to get on the score sheet competitively, as they allegedly had some things cooking in practice. This one laid in. Marsh once again quick off his line to negate the danger.
And Jack Voigt with the dicey slicey, showing you there why he is so valuable on the ball, playing in position, out of position all over the pitch. Unfortunately, an errant pass, and it's going back the other way for the Tulips.
Kubert. Now along the near wing, Arredondo. Tried the 1-2 with Emmanuel. Instead, it rolls well into Lansing territory. Played quickly by Spiegel. Sam Spiegel making his return into the net. He's got 18 saves so far this season, 5 goals allowed. Native of Bedford, Indiana. Played most recently for Taylor University. Spiegel with his season high 5 saves in Lansing Commons' win over BIH earlier this season.
And as we were saying earlier, just Sam was somebody who was absolutely flying out of tryouts and early season training. And no fault of his that he has ceded any time to Holden Clark between the sticks. Just a lot of quality for Lansing Common in both the starter and the backup keeper position. Holden Clark unavailable, not in the game day roster today.
As the dynamic duo of Spiegel and Clark have ushered Common to a 5-1-2 record, 16 points through 8 games played. As we said earlier, Lansing Common just needing 12 points, all wins, to claim the West Division title. Anything but, they will leave their fate up to the other teams in contention, including 2 teams that they will be playing next weekend in a 2-game slate across the weekend. Friday playing the West Michigan Bearings, finishing off the weekend with a 4 p.m. tilt against 1927 Sport Club. Eggers up for Arredondo, played through now to Brummels. Trying to work free of Ben Derby. He'll usher it back to Spiegel, who once again can claim possession.
Speaking of the universe, Cam, Lansing Commons' first ever home friendly against 1927 Sporting Club, who showed up with 9 players that day. So 2 Robins, there's a trivia question for you. Who were they? Had to suit up for the visitors that day. Lansing Commons seeded the first goal, and we all thought, oh boy, we can't have our first ever game spoiled by these guys who showed up with 9 from Fort Wayne, Indiana. But the Robins able to turn in a 2-1 victory off a couple different goal scores, and I believe a penalty kick that day in the first match in club history. 2 years later, 1927, in the Midwest Premier League Western Division, and pacing the rest of the division as they came out absolutely on a tear.
And as you said, 1927, 6-1-1, 19 points through 8 games. It'll be Kalovitz who will play this off of Emmanuel and out for a throw-in. And remind me about that trivia question, because I know the answers. We'll give them to you around the 70th minute. Played in by Beck, looking for the head of Omar, instead negated by Cromwell. It's Tulip City.
Slightly harder degree of difficulty than who were the goal scorers that day, but maybe we'll leave that one for
next week
for our friends at MI Soccer Trivia.
Emmanuel looking for the run of Eggers, instead rolls back to Spiegel as we just approached the first quarter of an hour here in the capital city. It's Kevin Payne, who maybe did not have his best of games last weekend in the 1-0 loss to Thundercats. Played forward by Derby. He's got 2 runners looking for Omar, trying to play through. Omar just over the bar. But what a lovely pass there from Ben Derby, who spotted the run of both Omar and Voigt along the far side, just couldn't get the touchdown.
Great ball right up the heart of the defense, and 2-on-1 like that at the top of the 18. Not something that you see happen very often when the defending team is playing 4 in the back.
Played forward. Brummel's got around Derby. It'll be whistled for an advantage played for Tulip City. As the referee deemed that Ben Derby negated the run of Brummels.
That foul so unexpected that Tulip City couple guys turned around ready to argue the offside call, but it was not offside. It was apparently a foul.
As Tulip City, having negated the previous danger from Lansing Common, it'll be Arredondo to take this set piece. Around 45 yards from goal. Arredondo played in, looking for Brummels, off his head and into the waning arms of Spiegel. So once again, Tulip City just trying to make their way through this back line of Lansing Common, a shift from the traditional system under Coach Brent Sorg. Sorg not here today. It'll be 4 at the back for Lansing Common, with the addition of Ben Derby slotting in to that center back role. Spiegel well off his line, played over. Brummels from well. Brummels just couldn't keep it on target. Otherwise would have been a cheap goal to give up for the Robins. Spiegel, well out of his 18-yard box, went to play that loose ball.
A little bit of an unnecessary risk there, and one that you don't see Sam take very often. Very nearly punished for it, but Noah Brummel's unable to keep the shot on target.
Played forward by Derby. This one caught a little bit of the wind and ushered back out to the Tulip City sideline. For Marcus Lugo. Trying to play it through to Eggers. Instead intercepted by Lansing Common. Beck. The interplay between him and Hungerford. Eggers did well to get it out of harm's way. Now to Rakundo Emmanuel. Played to the far wing for Strabel. Trying to work around Antcliffe, held up in the process. It'll be a foul given up by Strabel. Robbins look to play quickly. Wishmeyer. Intercepted by Cromwell, back to Emmanuel.
Not something you see very often there, as Aiden was doing a great job of obstructing the path of the forward to the ball, and the foul actually called on the Tulip City player.
Russ, heavy touch, got it away from the defender. Still Seth Russ. Along the far side, Jack Voigt. Voigt!
That is vintage 2022 Jack Voigt. Welcome back.
And it's just like that, Jack Voigt getting on the score sheet. And as we said, it's vintage goals and vintage finesse from the young man as Lansing Common takes a thumping 1-0 lead. It's the Robins 1, Tulip City United 0.
Quite a crack, as Andrew Marsh looking like he didn't even know that you were allowed to shoot it along the ground from that close to the goal. But a little bit of brilliance there from Jack Voigt, and a return to form in that attacking midfield position. And Jack Voigt puts the Robins in a spot they are more than used to being in this year, on top early at Eastern Stadium.
And with that goal, Jack Voigt, his second of the season, has now slotted himself as the second highest goal scorer in Lansing Common history, with his 8th in his second season as a Robin. Had 6 of them last year, tied with Gershom Sylvan for the second single season record that has since been tied by Seth Russ.
The thing about a club in its 3rd year of history is you can fly up the stat sheets pretty quickly, but Jack Voigt earned it with that one. Goodness.
As within the first 20 minutes, it's one of those leads that Lansing Common enjoys having, but just have not found it in recent memory.
It's also what you see when you put players who are used to being fluid and positionless in dangerous spots like that. It almost looked like Tulip City just lost track of Jack Voigt back there. They were not expecting him to turn into a striker, and he absolutely found that little bit of space, took the touch, lined it up, and calmly hammered it by the keeper.
Voigt, the native of South Lyon, Michigan, not a favorite place of mine, not because of the clientele there, but because of a certain speeding offense that may or may not have occurred last August.
Those Metro Detroit cops, Cam, you got to look out.
It was a construction zone, but there was nothing happening.
Oh, that's even worse. Would you pay double the fine?
No, we got it knocked down.
Oh, not an inexpensive lesson for Mr. McLaren. Those are the best kinds.
Well, I'm now 1 for 1. My brother's actually pretty good at that. He's batting 500. I'm batting 1,000. See, if we're talking about trivia, riddle me this. How come my brother can get off with a over 100-mile-an-hour speeding ticket, but I get caught for doing a substantial number in a 60 in a construction zone?
I think you answered your question at the very end there, Cam.
I digress, and I hate driving in packs. Brummels. Now back to Arredondo. It's Tulip City with their first spell of possession in the Lansing final third since giving up the game's opening goal. Emmanuel, dispossessed there by Beck. Beck around two. Couldn't get past Arredondo. The bench wondering why no advantage was played. Instead, it's Tulip City who regained possession in the final third. Played forward by Beal. Looking for Arredondo at the byline, played in front. Eggers couldn't get the back heel on it. Instead, now Lansing Common with it. Voigt. One touch with Omar. Instead, this one now whistled for the foul. Played quickly by Jack Voigt. The Robins looking to get numbers forward. Rakundo Emmanuel doing just enough to force Common to play in the negative. Now Hungerford. Back to Seth Russ. Trying to turn inside. Pass to Russ. The one hopper in on Marsh. Easily defended. As the Robins still looking to continue the momentum here, maybe get two in the game's opening half hour.
And you talk about the midfielders for Lansing Common being fluid, playing all over the field. You saw Jack Voigt coming forward and getting that goal, and then you saw Jack Beck playing back almost into his own six to snuff out the very serious, dangerous chance that Tulip City had on the other end.
And a lot of those happenings, as you said, with Jack Beck coming back into his defensive six, mainly due to Munir Shirali being out. It's a slightly hybrid lineup with a lot of players who may not have necessarily played with each other in their respective positions. But nonetheless, the Robins have dealt with the few questions that Tulip City has asked here in the early goings. Now Arredondo for Eggers. Excuse me, for Kubert there on the far side. Now for Beal, whipped in. And Spiegel will let it run over the crossbar. It'll go out for a goal kick as Beal tried to get a little bit more whip on it. Just couldn't direct it back into the Lansing 6-yard box.
And those questions are going to keep coming tonight, Cam. Whether they be, can you snuff out the many threats that this Tulip City side is going to bring, or can you find a little bit more quality and score one or maybe two more that you need to win? Because this is a quality side.
Kalovitz, his left-footed shot almost had the run of Omar, the slight shot pass, as you would say.
Yeah, it looked like he couldn't quite make up his mind on whether he wanted to cross it or shoot it, and he kind of went halfway in between. I don't know that he had the angle for the shot there. Certainly looked like Jack Voigt was a little bit covered up there, but certainly a great chance, and they're going to need to keep cranking those out.
As Lansing Common, with the amount of forwards and midfielders they have in the final third, you will be hard-pressed to ask exactly when that next goal would come. As when the Robins get going, they are indeed a show to watch. As in competitive play, 4 straight games, that 4-game win streak that the Robins were on did not score less than 4 goals in any of those victories.
And this has been I would say, an uncharacteristic match for Lansing Common to be involved in as well, because a lot of times when they are going to be on the losing end or in a draw, the other side has the majority of possession, and you wonder kind of what's going on. And as you said, in the majority of their games played over 3 years, when they win, dominating possession, dominating chances. This one's been back and forth all over the pitch. Plenty of great chances for both sides.
As Omar tried to spot the run of Voigt, just too hard off the right boot of the Hazlitt native. As we said earlier, Lansing Common and Tulip City, this has been a low-scoring affair Both times these two teams have played a 1-1 draw on the 21st of May as this ball up for Omar, trying to work around Cromwell. As Omar went for the shot well outside the 18.
Really, really clever head flick from Mark Wishmeyer there. Fetty unable to convert it into any real danger. Puts it between the football uprights.
It's Fetty Omar making his first start, just and now his third appearance this season. Played through in the mix, out for Kalovitz. He'll get whistled for a foul as he went through the back of Lugo. Kalovitz asking the questions, the referee not listening.
Seems this referee is very sensitive to the contact from behind, as you've seen a few of those fouls whistled on Tulip City already. I was wondering if maybe there was a little bit of extra violence with those, but I think this ref is just especially attuned to the kind of fouls that you typically don't see in a match.
As Paulins Voigt will restart play, intercepted by the head of Kevin Payne as the Robins look to have numbers forward now. Voigt over to Russ, trying to work around the defender. Past Kirby Eggers and over along the near side for Landon Hungerford. Played in for Beck. That one intercepted as Emmanuel could play it out of danger over to the far side for Strabel as Tulip City still looking to break down the defense of Lansing Common, just have not been able to since giving up the game's opening goal.
And so far, Cam, somebody who is really coming into his own and playing proportionally more on the ball with his childhood buddy and carpool buddy Munir Shirali unavailable in Mexico is Jack Beck. Has been really what we kind of expected to see out of Jack Beck in a Robin uniform. Has been really all over the place, all over the ball, and I would expect that he's going to get a couple shots on target tonight.
Derby.
Derby, goodness gracious.
Derby, who almost got dispossessed by Arredondo, gave him the shoulder, got through the ball too, as this played forward for Beck. Looking for Omar. Interlocked with Strabel, he'll header it in to Marsh, who's able to collect the wreckage.
Ton of trust in his keeper there with the aggressive header, and Fetty able to do just enough to hold his run back, keep him onside, but the ball just a little bit too much sauce on it.
This is back line of Tulip City coming under fire here in the past 15 minutes. Wishmeyer working around Nick Beal, forced to play it back to Derby. Mr. Robbins can regroup. Along the halfway line, now to Antcliffe. It's Mark Wishmeyer trying to quarterback this attack for Lansing Common.
A word that I was just about to use too. There's a lot of similarities between Mooney and Mark Wishmeyer, and with Mooney out, those are the two players that you're going to need to see step up, and so far, mission accomplished for Mark Wishmeyer and Jack Beck, making their impact felt offensively and defensively.
Now for Brummels, working around Payne, who got the right foot in. Beautiful challenge there from the Niagara University player.
The kind of aggressive challenge that you usually see a little bit more out of Kevin Payne in training, where he knows he's unlikely to get a yellow card, but ref played that one fairly.
Russ, that one took a deflection on its way in.
Hammered it right into Andrew Marsh's chest. Marsh was up to the challenge.
As Andrew Marsh, and what I have here on Andrew Marsh is allegedly coaching at Zeeland East High School, the last thing I knew. Also played at Cornerstone University in his college days, but the statistics for Cornerstone University's website just aren't up to date from the time he played.
I was going to say, that's another place. We talked about Davenport, Muskegon Community College. There's Isaiah Arredondo from Indiana Wesleyan. Tulip City reaching deep into their bag to find talent in unexpected places, including with tonight's starting keeper Andrew Marsh, as you said, out of Cornerstone. Not the Grand Rapids college that most think of when they think of soccer talent.
Played forward, out for Eggers. Back for Wishmeyer as the Robins negating that recent spell of possession for Tulip City. Now for Voigt. In the middle of the park for Seth Russ. Emmanuel there in support. Now to the near side for Luke Kalovitz. Kalovitz, far side, Omar!
Fetty Omar opens his account for Lansing Common with a towering header. Finally, some of that sauce we've seen out of training showing up in a game.
It's not uncommon to see an Omar score, as this time the younger brother of Shedi Omar getting his first goal in the Robin Whites. As Lansing Common takes a commanding 2-0 lead. It's the Robins of Lansing Common 2, Tulip City United 0. What a sensational bit of link-up play between the forwards for Lansing Common, as Kalovitz with the assist. As you said earlier, he was in the middle of a shot pass, didn't know what to do just about 10 minutes ago. That time he found the correct option, as Omar with time and space as this back line under attack of Tulip City. They've been breached twice.
As the ball came off Luke Kalovitz's foot, I just thought, oh no, not enough bodies in the box, but Luke Kalovitz had other ideas. The perfect ball right to Fedi Omar's forehead, and he just hammers it home to the far post, past a diving Andrew Marsh. Spectacular link up there. And Luke Kalovitz, another young man for these Robins who has just shown flashes of brilliance on the practice pitch and in games. Has sometimes struggled to put it together, as you alluded to with that half chance earlier, and there would not miss.
As Hungerford whistled for a foul, this will be a free kick in a dangerous position for Tulip City.
The Robins defense fortunate to not get a yellow card there, as the head referee seemed to pick up on a little bit more violence than I thought in that 50-50 exchange. But this is a set piece that the Robins and Sam Spiegel are used to seeing in practice. This is an area of the field that they drill from all the time.
It'll be Isaiah Arredondo and Jared Cromwell to stand over it, the four-man wall of Lansing Common. Arredondo played through. Payne knocked it up outside of the goal, as the first dummy run, I believe, of Beal set things awry.
Yeah, Arredondo, a lot of quality with that left foot, and unexpected ball along the ground there. Not sure whether that was something they practiced or not, but.
Now the in-swinger. Back able to clear the initial chance. It'll fall back to Arredondo. Looking far post, that one well over anybody in a black uniform, as the Robins negate the danger. Can replay or restart play with a goal kick.
Feeling a little bit of a breeze in the press box, but I don't think it's quite aggressively out of the west in a way that would have taken that ball off course. I think young Isaiah just missed his mark there.
Now for Strabel. Played back for Nick Beal. Last touched off by Antcliffe. It'll be a throw in for Tulip City, as we've eclipsed the half-hour mark here in Lansing. Antcliffe momentarily kept it in. The official on the far side said it's so. Now played back for Evan Pollins-Voigt. Looking for Arredondo. It'll be Spiegel, who comes well outside of his 6-yard box. And once again, restarts play quickly. Now with the Michigan State Spartan and Jack Beck. Hungerford, back to Beck. One touch for Omar. Can't beat Cromwell. Ushered back to Marsh, who will slice it out the near side, as a beautiful link-up play once again for Lansing Common.
Boy, how much do Landon Hungerford and Jack Beck trust each other? What a 1-2 that was.
Kalovitz off the head of Pollins-Voigt. He's in a little bit of discomfort just inside his own 18.
And as we've said, that would not be good for Tulip City. They have no defenders on the bench in the game day squad today.
Kalovitz, once again, Pollins-Voigt able to negate it. Back out the 18, Arredondo to do the finishing touches. It's Derby. A little bit of head tennis played here in the middle of the park. Back for Kevin Payne.
When you want to end a game of head tennis, Kevin Payne is a smart man to try to find. Usually going to extinguish that quickly.
This back line of Lansing Common that's been tested rather in limited situations today. Is this one played forward now for Kalovitz, ushered out by Lugo, as alluding to this back line for Lansing Common. It's been pretty standard going this entire season. His back lines up from distance. Almost hits our field photographer.
We've seen a few of those this season from Jack Beck. Has been unable to connect thus far, but I would not be surprised if he did hammer one home from distance.
As he's trying to fester in his inner Ben Derby there, trying to strike one from distance, is Ben Derby, who's had 2 goals this season, his first 2 as a Robin.
I remember, though, in our first road trip, Cam, he hammered one from 30 plus, and I said, "What is he doing?" And you turned to me and said, "No, believe me, Jack Beck's got the quality to finish that." And he's not shown it in a game yet for Lansing Common, but I'll just say I've seen it on Tuesdays and Thursdays here at Eastern Stadium.
Beck, who is a native of DeWitt, Michigan, just a little bit north of us, started 33 consecutive matches for the Spartans between his final 2.5 years. Played in 64 matches for Michigan State, 7 goals, 4 assists. Is making his 6th start this season and has 2 assists to his name. As another whistle here, a foul committed by Derby.
The Tulips are starting to get a little floppy down there, and I'm hopeful that this doesn't result in a card being given. Certainly not in the first 45.
As the precedent has been set by the center official. Kubert played in. Paulins Voigt instead headed away by Payne off of the boot of Wishmeyer. Now over to Lugo. His header intercepted along the far wing by Voigt. He'll let it run out. As once again, set pieces in dangerous opportunities for the Tulips, just not asking the right questions.
And so far, Paulins Voigt and Arredondo, the set piece specialists for the Tulips, both left-footed, and both have shown quite a bit of sauciness with that left peg.
Now Hungerford with space, looking for Russ. Got it in front of Paulins Voigt. Omar checking his run. It's played out to the far wing for Jack Voigt. Still Voigt, chipped in. Omar just past the post. The flag goes up along the far side as once again the trio of Seth Rush, Jack Voigt, and Fetty Omar connecting, as that's been the danger point for this Lansing Common attack.
And you're starting to see what happens in soccer games, especially without a halftime break to settle the Tulip City defense. Jack Voigt is sucking those boys in now that they know how much speed and quality he has.
Now Kalovitz with the right peg. That one once again will go out for a goal kick, as this attack, relentless, one would say, for the Robins.
Starting to wonder if this is a game of FIFA, Cam.
Tulip City, the quality they've shown today is not representative of their record. 16 points in 9 games played, a 5-1-3 record, including a thumping in the Holland Derby in June over Holland Rovers, an 8-2 victory for the Tulips. As Tulip City's last match, they haven't played in quite some time. Their match against AIM SC was postponed. They now finding themselves down by 2 goals here in Lansing. Mr. Robbins, a heavy touch there from Voigt, clipped Emmanuel on the process, advantage play. Now to Kirby Eggers, the far side, looking in for Brummels. That one negated by the right boot of Payne. It'll go out for a throw-in. Now played quickly for Strabel, along the far wing. Now to Kirby Eggers, as once again the press from Lansing Common forcing the Tulips to play in the negative. Fetty Omar making himself a nuisance, as the Tulips will play it around the back. Now for Cromwell, along the far wing for Eggers. Played through, on the ground is Payne. Cromwell tried to play it off of him, instead back out off the boot of Antcliffe.
Payne losing his footing is not something that happens very often, and you could see the eyes of the Tulip City attackers light up as they saw the opportunity they had, unable to even generate a shot out of it.
Paulins Voigt now up for Arredondo, just too much on the right foot. Now once again for Lansing, goal kick. As you said, it's not often you see Kevin Payne lose his footing. He's done so a few times today.
It is a little slippery out there with a lot of rain overnight and this morning, but cleared up. Beautiful weather, not quite warm or sunny enough to dry off the field. So a little slick out there, I think.
And sometimes players like that, passes on the ground will be a little bit faster than usual. It's Beck, intercepted now in the middle of the park. Now for Antcliffe. And back to Mark Wishmeyer. Searching for the run of Seth Russ. He has it.
Fetty Omar wide open.
Russ playing it back. Kalavitz!
What a finish.
What a strike there by Luke Kalavitz. As he now gets his second goal and triples the Lansing lead. It's Lansing Common 3, Tulip City 0.
The boys are back, Cam. My goodness. What a statement by the Robins. Tulip City looks dazed and confused out there, like they did not expect this. And if they watched film from last weekend, who could blame them?
This is an absolutely audacious effort from the Robins, who looked disheveled, discombobulated, and defeated in their 1-0 loss to Thundercats last week. But it's been a completely different story, a full 180 night and day difference in this game. It's just before halftime. They don't look to be anywhere close to being finished.
And the goals coming from the three players across the front line of Lansing Common who are not pacing the Midwest League in scoring. That's Seth Russ. He doesn't have a goal or an assist today. Just quality and and brilliance all over the front for Lansing Common, as Cam comes up and cleans up after me and points out that Seth Russ does have an assist.
Seth Russ getting the assist on Kalavitz's goal, and that was a superb strike from the Northwood University product. He scored in the opener for Lansing Common of the season in the friendly over Troy United. His first competitive club goal came against Holland Rovers in what was a 4-0 victory for the Robins.
And we didn't really get into this, but we didn't know what to make of this Tulip City squad. They made an absolute statement against Livonia City in their game. You can never really read too much into a result against BIH, as that's a team that could beat anybody 4-0 or lose to anybody 4-0 on any day. But they've shown up against really good squads on both sides of the state. And they've also had some losses that kind of made you scratch your head. But that is the story here in the Midwest Premier League. Summer soccer with college guys, you only play 12 matches. Don't really know still what to make of this Tulip City squad. I know they have a lot of quality, and I know that they are shocked to see these results so far.
As you said, Tulip City 8-2 victors in the Holland Derby, but a thumping 5-0 loss to Inter Detroit just a few weeks ago. A 1-0 loss to BIH Grand Rapids, as this ball played by Payne. It'll be dug out by Paulins Voigt. Now to Seth Russ as the Robins look to go on the attack in the final few minutes of regular time. Kalavitz try to work around Lugo. He'll commit a foul in the process, as this one will go the other way.
I don't know about that foul, but again, just happy to not see the cheddar.
As we've stated earlier, Tulip City, their future is not in their own hands. No matter what result today, what happens on the west side of the state will determine if they can even have a chance at winning the West Division title. Is that game between United West and the West Michigan Bearings, who these same Tulips drew earlier this season, a 2-2 result. They play with kickoff just past 7 p.m. For Fetty Omar, Jack Beck tried to play it quickly back for Hungerford, who's well advanced from his defending position.
Also well onside. Tulip City seemed kind of taken by surprise there, although maybe the Robins were too.
That's a lovely touch there by Wishmeyer. Trying to work around Brummel, so he's forced to play back into the negative.
The fourth official has indicated at least 1 minute of added time.
The official word of 1 minute of stoppage time here in the first half.
A little unexpected there with the amount of goals, the amount of set pieces, the amount of fouls, but that's the official's word.
Eggers, now for Nick Beal. Isaiah Arredondo. Still Arredondo blocked there by Hungerford. Now for Voigt as the Robins trying to search on the counter. Deflected off of Arredondo. It'll go the other way as the Robins, or excuse me, the linesman along the near side signaling it to go to Tulip City. The center official correctly making the right call and giving or awarding the Robins possession. Played forward for Kalavitz, able to work around Lugo. Kalavitz trying to get the step in front of Lugo. He did just enough to usher it out for a corner.
Been a fun battle between Kalavitz and Lugo today.
As it'll be Seth Russ who will walk over for the second corner kick, both along that near side for the Robins. And what just might be the final bit of action before the end of the first half.
Seth Russ standing over the ball for the Robins on this corner. As we said, Munir Shirali in Mexico today.
Russ with the in-swinger. Looking for Derby, back post. Couldn't get there in front of Kubert, who sends it out for a throw-in for the Tulips, as we've hit the minimum 1 minute of stoppage time, and that will do it. The first 45 in the books. A trio of goals, and the first one for Fedi Omar as the Robins head into the halftime break. Up 3-0 over the visitors of Tulip City.
La India Mexicana Cocina food truck is now just outside the main gate. Go get yourself some halftime tacos.
First 45 in the books. Second 45 set to get underway as Lansing Common needing a full 3 points to keep their Great Lakes West Division title hopes alive. Currently up over Tulip City by a score of 3-0 as we are awaiting the referee's instructions. And he'll put the whistle to the mouth as we are underway here for the second half on this rather gloomy and slightly chilly day here in Michigan's capital city.
Got some substitutions that we're still catching up on here as Tulip City subbed in Abe Ariano from Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne. Not a lot of playing time in college yet, but out of West Ottawa High School, 60 goals for the young man. So as we were talking about before, not a lot of defensive substitutions. In fact, no defensive substitutions in the game day squad for Tulip City today, but a lot of attacking firepower.
As they look to get on the front foot here early as Kubert running freely along the near wing, dispossessed by Kevin Payne. As Robbins just one substitution after the first 45, it'll be Avery Dresky who makes his way on in place of Mark Wishmeyer. Dresky, the Bonnie of St. Bonaventure, making his 13th appearance for the club. And the other substitution for Tulip City, it's Jordan Walker who will be slotting in for Noah Brummels as the Robins. Now on the front foot, Russ with a lovely turn on the inside. Couldn't get around Strable and instead ushered out for a corner kick in the early goings of the second half.
And as we shared with you earlier, no high school stats for Jordan Walker, but none necessary. The young man paced Jack Voigt and Gershom Sylvain for the Golden Boot in the Midwest Premier League last summer. We know he can score, and we know he can score at this level. Interestingly, the two subs off two Western Michigan University products for Tulip City.
As it'll be Jack Beck, the low-end swinger, dummied first, instead clipped off the heels of Eggers.
Tulip City says we've seen this one before. It's not going to get all the way through the 18-yard box this time.
Now in the middle of the park for Abraham Ariano. As the Tulips down by 3 here.
Substitution for Tulip City in number 9, Jordan Walker. Replaces number 20, Noah Brummels.
Now along the far side, Arredondo looking for the run of Kubert. That one picked out by Derby.
Avery Dresky, the halftime substitution for Lansing Common, as he comes in and relieves Mark Wishmeyer. Interesting and unexpected halftime change.
Now played along the far wing. Now along the near side for Jack Voigt. Voigt still trying to work past Strable, couldn't do so.
Jack Voigt continues to give Tulip City's backline everything they can handle.
As we get a whistle here, foul committed by Strable along that far wing. Excuse me, by Lugo. It'll be Lansing Common who reclaim possession. As we've said earlier, it's starting to get a little chippy, or chilly here, I should say. 69 degrees, nice weather as always here in mid-Michigan.
Chilly and chippy, Cam, as Avery Dresky takes out a Tulip City player whose number and name I cannot make out.
That looks as though it's Abraham Ariano who's on the ground with his possible third touch of the ball. He gets pummeled into by Avery Dresky. He'll earn the first card of the game, the slice of cheddar. The first one out of the package goes to Lansing Commons number 6. As
Ariano recovers quickly as the card is shown.
It's Avery Dresky, who, as we said earlier, has made his 13th appearance for the club, just one start in 2 seasons. Earned his first club point on Seth Russ's hat-trick goal against BIH.
Additional halftime substitution for Tulip City in Number 16, Abraham.
Now played forward for Fetty Omar. Omar spotting the rug of Beck! And just able to get the paw, and it was Marsh. Not enough mustard on it for Jack Beck as the outstretched left paw of Andrew Marsh kept Beck off the score sheet.
And Fetty looked like he was going to try to chip the keeper there. It took a nice turn and chipped it into the box, found Jack Beck's forehead. Andrew Marsh might need some new keeper gloves. It's not the first time he's fumbled the ball a little bit, able to keep it off the line both times and hold it back from a dangerous rebound or anything else. But I wouldn't be surprised if that came back to haunt him.
As Jack Beck, who has 2 assists this season, his first stint with the Robins, looking for his first goal. That one stymied by the mitts of Andrew Marsh. Instead, now a free kick for the Robins. Played in by Beck. Looking in the mid for Dresky off of the body of Omar. It'll be ushered out by Cromwell. It results in a goal kick for the Tulips.
Little surprise here. I was not in the locker room, but Cam and I were jokingly saying we could probably predict the halftime speech. Robins keeping their foot on the gas pedal, continuing to put pressure on this back line of Tulip City and on the referees, creating a lot of danger.
Turnover. Omar, the brace!
From my lips to God's ears, Cam.
An audacious turnover at the back by Cromwell as Fetty Omar makes it 2 in his first start as a Robin. As Prince Tut, as what they're going to call him there in the supporters group, has his second of the game. It's now Lansing Common 4, Tulip City United 0.
In front of his family, as always, Omar family, huge fans of Lansing Common. But the pressing that Coach Brent Sorg has instilled in this team from the beginning of the season finally pays off in a rare mistake from this Tulip City back line, capitalizing in a beautiful goal from Fetty Omar, the brace.
As the Hazlitt native has 2 in his account, the Robins in full flight in this one, commanding 4-goal lead. It's now played forward by Paulins Voigt, looking for the run of Jordan Walker. Instead, now the Robins looking to up the ante.
Jack Beck with all kinds of space in the middle of the park as the Tulip City midfield just looks on the back heel. Another turnover.
As Cromwell, who is much more experienced, got it away from Omar. Instead, the Robins regained possession in the final third. Kalovitz, a heavy first touch. Intercepted by Lugo. Reclaimed along the far wing by Hungerford. Still Landon Hungerford. Played back, looking for Russ. Instead, collected by Abraham Arellano as Russ and Hungerford not on the same page. Now here comes Tulip City along the far wing. Eggers trying to work 3 of the large frame of Kevin Payne. Instead, booted out by Ben Derby up the far side of the pitch. Too far for Hungerford and out for a Tulip City throw.
And one of the advantages, Cam, that you see from having players who are comfortable to play all over the pitch is you had Avery Dresky tucking back to help on defense. So Landon Hungerford, out of his left back position, didn't have to hustle back, and in fact almost created danger on the counterattack there as Lansing was able to quickly snuff out Tulip City's attack.
As Dresky reclaims possession in the middle of the park, 2 substitutions lining up for Tulip City. Looks as though Breton Timmer and Daniel Arellano will make their way into this match in just a few moments.
Cam, in my limited research this morning, I was unable to find out if the Arellanos on Tulip City are related. Do you have any idea?
No comment. Instead of now played out by Antcliffe as we get those substitutions now. It'll be Breton Timmer who makes his way into this match in place of Evan Paulins Voigt, as well as Nick Kubert will exit the match in place, or in favor of Daniel Arellano, as a midfielder and a forward substitution for the Tulips Looks as though they'll go 3 at the back now, looking for some firepower as they've been blanked so far.
Timmer out of Davenport and Ariano out of Muskegon Community College, as we've said several times tonight. Tulip City finding some talent, some quality in places you maybe wouldn't expect over on the west side of the state.
As the first touch of Daniel Ariano's night into the outstretched arms of Sam Spiegel, who slightly uncomfortably made that save. Or I should say stopped that cross from building into any danger. Now Abraham Ariano looking for the run of Eggers, intercepted momentarily by Hungerford, and back to the Tulips. Back for Lugo, able to get around the pressure of Kalovitz, hoofed back up the pitch by Timmer. Ancliffe doing just enough to get it past Daniel Ariano. Looking for the run of Omar, that one intercepted by Cromwell. Arredondo with it in the middle of the park. As the Tulips still searching for that elusive pass to break the line of defense for Lansing. It's Daniel Ariano. Back to Rukundo Emmanuel. Arredondo. Lovely bit of passing for the Tulips. Now to Daniel Ariano. They'll play it out along the far wing for Lugo. Forced to play it back to Timmer and start again. Arredondo from distance deflects off of Dresky and into Spiegel.
Lansing substitution warming up right now. Not a defensive one with a 4-goal lead. It is Brandon Dixon, the striker who's not played for a few weeks for the Robins.
Dixon, who's been left out of the team sheet the past 2 weeks, or past few weeks, I should say, is pass from Hungerford intercepted by Cromwell.
Not been left on the bench. He's been unavailable in the game day roster for all games. He had a flat tire, couldn't make it across the state to BIH over in East Kentwood a few weeks ago, and then since then been on a little June, July family vacation. Things that happen in Summer League soccer.
As Brandon Dixon will enter the match in place of Seth Russ, who did not get a goal in this game. He'll be stuck at 7 for the time being. An assist, though, on Kalovitz's goal.
In the
Dixon,
58th minute, Tulip City's 5th substitution of the game is coming in. Joshua Cook, also out of Davenport. They've got just one player left on their bench.
This ball sent out for another goal kick, and that substitution will be made. It's Joshua Cook, a midfielder, slotting in for Strabel. It's the 5th substitution made by the Tulips, and back to that substitution, Brandon Dixon for Lansing Common, who'll have a nice 33-minute run around. He is a native of Haslett, Michigan. He's got an interesting story to tell, and he told it to our beat writer, Jay DeCoster, earlier this season. He was an all-conference player at Haslett High School, instead jumped overseas. Last played in Serbia for Belgrade United. Made 6 appearances, all starts in his short time there. He's got 1 goal and 2 assists in his now 5th appearance for the Robins in 2023.
Lansing continuing to press. Jack Beck picking off the stray pass there, unable to convert it into anything dangerous, but Tulip City still a little bit sloppy and trying to play out of the back with their new look formation here in the second half.
Cromwell able to win the 50-50, looking up for Walker. Instead, can't get past Kevin Payne, who's done just enough to give it to Jack Beck in the middle of the pitch. Now played over for Landon Hungerford, who's had a rather easier day than he did last week against Thundercats. Enjoying his brief spells up forward. Now for Brandon Dixon.
Lando running like it's his first minute on the pitch, too, not the 6th.
Back with the left foot. Easily steered into the arms of Marsh. Sorry about that, Josh. A little overzealous from me on that.
If we keep predicting that the long distance shot from Jack Beck is going to find the back of the net, maybe one of these times it's going to happen. As the backup keeper for Tulip City now looks to be warming. Maybe I spoke too soon about their 6th substitution.
Ariano lost the ball in the middle of the park. Now to Arredondo. Along the far side, chipped out into the 18. That one dealt with by Antcliffe. It's now Jack Beck. Now for Aiden Antcliffe. Mr. Robbins enjoying a brief spell of possession in their own half.
Aiden Antcliffe has not had too busy of a night tonight, but he's been somebody who has been just tremendously important for the Robins this year. Missed all of last season with a really unfortunate injury that he struggled to come back from. So didn't really a wild card on this year's squad, but has been just a rock solid in the back. Had a little bit of a tough game against BIH, was subbed off early in that game, but has bounced back with a vengeance and has been just an anchor on that back line at right back.
As you said, he missed a majority of last season, had 2 appearances, only 1 start. Is back once again with the left foot. That one won't test Marsh. As there's only a few things that work when it comes to long distance, and unless your name's Ben Derby just outside the 18, those things do not go together.
I love it. I love it. Keep trying, young man.
It's now Marcus Lugo. Defense that's been under fire for Tulip City has looked slightly comfortable now since that egregious turnover in the opening 5 minutes of the second half. It's Antcliffe, a heavy first touch. Picked off by Kirby Eggers. Now to the front man in Jordan Walker. The near side for Daniel Ariano. The flag goes up along the far side. It negates any sort of danger. As we'll get that 6th substitution that you were alluding to, Josh. It will be a goalkeeper substitution. You can scratch that off your bingo card if you had that.
Andrew Marsh giving the shruggy emoji. Doesn't want to come off. Is backing away from midfield.
As for the time being, it'll be Andrew Marsh's net. It's Noah Dietrich set to enter today's match. As we now get that substitution, the 0-0 for a 1. Marsh is not happy by any means.
Tulip City substitution going in. Number 1, Noah Dietrich.
And Noah Dietrich is not the typical backup for Tulip City. As Marsh has split time at the goalkeeper position. This is their 3rd string that they just put into a 4-0 game.
And as you said, no Lucas Lobo, who is their 2nd string keeper.
Appreciate the assist there, Cam. Got to get you on the stat sheet for that one.
One of 9 players not listed on the team sheet that are on the Tulip City roster, including Paulo Alcala, who was with this squad last year. Stresky.
Got to think Alcala is just on vacation or otherwise unavailable, not a scratch, because he is somebody that's scored a lot for Tulip City this year.
Played forward along the far wing. This one, Spiegel makes the save. Arredondo with a late burst of speed couldn't beat the right leg of Spiegel, who came up big when his team needed him most. Instead, it's sent out for a corner kick. Sam Spiegel, as we said earlier, the Bedford native, coming in the clutch. In just his 6th appearance this season. Ariano played in, looking back post. Cromwell missed all of it. Rolls back out for Eggers. Outside the 18, his shot deflects on its way through. May have hit Cromwell. It did, as it results in a goal kick for the Robins.
That was perhaps the best looking ball, certainly off a corner, maybe off any set piece for Tulip City tonight. They had a couple chances at getting off a shot, unable to get anything on target though.
As Tulip City, they've been asking a few questions tonight, just not the right ones.
In the new look formation, I mean, I know we've given a lot of love to Ben Derby in the past, but as he's been asked to tuck back a little bit, help out a little bit more, a little further back in the formation, it has certainly paid off and then some.
Derby, who has yet to see any action with the Broncos of Western Michigan University. This is pass intercepted by Timmer. Now for Eggers. Returns the feed for Abraham Ariano. Now to Arredondo. That pass intercepted by Dresky. Be collected by Dixon. Trying to work around the young Breton Timmer. Dixon played forward for Omar. He's in a lofty bit of space. He's onside. Now Fedi Omar trying to work around Timmer. His pass sent off the body of Timmer and out for a corner, as we'll get a double substitution here for the Robins in the next coming moments. It looks as though Victor Toon and Jack Lockerbie will make their way into tonight's match.
And these are two players who have a lot of versatility, which you know Brent Sorg loves. Both of them can be dangerous. Both are also rock solid defensively.
Looks as though Jack Voigt's number will be up in the next outing. Beck, the in-swinger, looking back post for Omar. Collected by Derby. Kept it in along the byline. Still Ben Derby, played back in. That one will hit the uprights of the football post.
Unlucky there.
As we get those substitutions, it will be Jack Lockerbie in for Aiden Antcliff. Jack Voigt, who scored the game's opening goal, will make way for Victor Toon.
We will not see a 3-Jack lineup out of Lansing Common tonight, but we will see a 2-Jack lineup.
Subbing in number 15, Jack Lockerbie.
Lockerbie making his 14th appearance for the club. His 9th so far this season. Has just started one game for the Robins. And on the other side, instead, now played forward Emmanuel along the near side. Daniel Ariano, the flag goes up. Spiegel made the save anyway. As we said earlier, Victor Toon making his way into the match in place of Jack Voigt. Toon, who has 2 goals to his account in his 2nd season with the Robins. Making his 9th appearance all time, his 6th this season.
And one of those just a thunderous header against the Holland Strike Rovers in Holland a few weeks back on a rainy Sunday.
This one played up. Toon couldn't get the read on it. Manuel got there first. It's deflects back off of Toon. And into possession of Abraham Ariano. Looking far side for Lugo, instead collected by Arredondo. Now for Cook.
The
battling
69th minute, and the Robins are still just aggressively pressing on defense, as if they're battling for an equalizer or for a game-winning goal, not up 4-0. You love to see it.
Timmer played this one looking for the run of Daniel Ariano, instead ushered out for a Lansing throw. And as you said, the rather youthful duo of strikers up top making themselves a nuisance here for the Robins in the game's final 25 minutes. Toon looking for Omar, instead played by Cromwell. Cook. Now to Kirby Eggers. Abe Ariano trying to work around Payne. Stopped up just outside the 18. The near side for Daniel Ariano. He shoots that one just wide of the far post. Spiegel may have gotten a tick of it with the boot. It's ushered out.
The ref
results
seems to think so.
And a corner for Tulip City. The best chances for the Tulips have come on that right side of defense for Lansing Common, as Jack Lockerbie is in the midst of a battle with Daniel Ariano. Played in, looking for Abe Ariano. It's actually Jordan Walker who got there in front of everybody, including Kevin Payne. As the Tulips have struck back here in the 70th minute, it's now Lansing Common 4, Tulip City 1. And Jordan Walker, who loves finding the back of the net, it's hard to keep him off the score sheet. The Robins, the latest team to not be able to do that. As the Tulips have cut the lead, or the deficit now down to 3. Now looking for Brandon Dixon. He's inside the 18, working around Timmer. Played back for Kalavitz. Stepped into by Brett Timmer. Kalavitz reclaims possession. It's Robins looking to regain that 4-goal lead here, just moments after capitulating. Along the far wing for Landon Hungerford. And back to Avery Dresky as the Robins turned it over now to Daniel Ariano. Walker checking his run between the center backs. Played to the near side for Eggers. Working on Lockerbie. Eggers trying to hit the byline. Splits the defender. What a goal there by Kirby Eggers. A sensational individual effort from the young man has cut the deficit in half as it's now Lansing Common 4, Tulip City United 2.
20 minutes left in the half, and the two most dangerous opportunities for Tulip City in this entire game come about 2 minutes apart. Still a lot of energy on the Lansing Common side of the ball as the communication was good. Just a rare mistake from Jack Lockerbie there as he got crossed up by the attacker. But still a lot of attacking energy and heart on the Robins side as they turned it over.
Emmanuel able to keep it in. The near linesman said so. 1-2 play with Abe Ariano. As the Tulips have found themselves with a breath of life as they've grown into the second half. Omar deflected off of the initial pass of Cook. Back to Brett and Timmer.
And as we were saying, either just before halftime or just after, don't really know what to make of this Tulip City squad, but we do know they've got a lot of quality, and they win a lot of games in their 2 years of history in the Midwest Premier League, and they score a lot of goals. They were right there with Lansing Common in the goal differential last year, and with Jordan Walker, the first goal scorer in individual effort for the Golden Boot last year. So this is a squad that's has given a lot of teams fits this year.
Ariano, his shot blocked by Dresky. As the Tulips have sprung up here in the final 25 minutes. Played along the near side for Emmanuel. Trying to work around Jack Lockerbie. Played in off the right boot, headed away by Payne, and out by Toon. As it's been a completely different game here. In the past 10 minutes, it's been all Tulip City who have asked the right questions and have gotten the right answers in response. That ball played by Lugo, won't test anybody on the Lansing back line. Dixon with a heavy touch off the shoulder, collected by Cromwell as the Tulips can start things. Abe Ariano playing that quarterback role since coming in for Nick Beal. Looking for Daniel Ariano, instead collected by the Robins. Now Toon. Robins searching for the counter. Omar forced to stop.
Line-breaking pass to launch the attack there.
So Robins will spring play. Dresky, one of 3 Robins on that far side. Looking for Kalavitz, intercepted by Lugo. So Tulips can start again. Isaiah Arredondo. Now for Jordan Walker in the middle of the park. Looking for Eggers, the most recent goal scorer, instead out for a throw-in. Daniel Ariano along the near side, ushering his troops forward. The press for Tulip City that we haven't seen for a majority of this game, now smelling blood in the water.
I was thinking the same thing, though, Cam, because Kirby Eggers was up there with the ball in a dangerous position. If he had gotten his right foot onto that ball, it looked like he could have generated some danger. There was nobody in the box or even close to it for Tulip City. He had one option. It was 40 yards away.
Ariano's pass intercepted by Hungerford. As Robins looking to make an additional 2 substitutions with Ali Ahmad and Joshua Rosendale getting ready along the near line. Now for Fetty Omar, engaged with Brett Timmer. It'll roll back, with Joshua Cook. As it rolls its way back onto Dietrich, who's made his first touch since coming in relief of Andrew Marsh.
As you said, Cam, not been tested since the change at keeper made for Tulip City.
Abe Ariano. Lots of time finds Rakundu Emmanuel. Lovely flick there by Daniel Ariano. Spiegel won't get there in time. It's out for Tulip City corner. So Robins will have to wait to make their substitutions.
Tulip City goes short on the corner.
Abe Ariano played first by Lockerbie, only as far as Cromwell.
Wonderful defensive work from Fetty there.
Back out to Timmer. Mr. Tulips looking to break down this low block that is developed for Lansing Common. And Hungerford doing just enough to usher the ball out of play as we now get those substitutions. It'll be Ali Ahmad in for Luke Kalovitz, who has a goal and an assist tonight. Fetty Omar will make way for Joshua Rosendale.
Substitutions for Lansing Common. Subbing in number 24, Josh Rosendale.
These substitutions say to me energy and also leadership, but also a little bit of defensive oomph with Josh Rosendale too. Common fans used to seeing him up top at the striker position. Tulip City fans will recognize him from a full 90 minutes he played at center back as a very short-handed Lansing Common squad took on this Tulip City squad in a meaningless Grand River Open Cup match on the July 4th weekend last year.
Now with Emmanuel, working his way into the 18. Emmanuel, the right foot, blocked again by Toon. Whiffed at by Eggers. As Dixon clattered into Joshua Cook. It'll be a free kick for the Tulips.
Center ref seemed to accuse Brandon Dixon of undercutting his man there. Brandon able to convince him that a yellow card was not earned.
Ariano tried to play it through to Daniel. Instead, back out the far side looking for Lugo. That ball caught sail and sent out for a Lansing goal kick. As you said, that leadership ability with Joshua Rosendale. He's now made his 22nd appearance for the club, has 3 goals in 3 seasons. Scored a goal in his first appearance for the Robins this season in a 4-0 victory over United West in mid-June.
He's also out of college now, so rather than just wrapping up a full season playing for Olivet College, he's spending the 9 to 5 working in the insurance industry, although you would not know it to see the energy he brings off the bench for the Robins this year.
And rest assured, you would have a lot of insurance on Joshua Rosendale making a starting lineup at Olivet College. Started all but 1 game. 73 starts for the Comets. 26 goals, 4 assists in 4 seasons.
The dad jokes are free, folks. Tulip City making their final substitution. Blake Barrios, recent high school graduate.
As Ahmad will get his first touch, it's immediately sent in for Dietrich. Going back to that trivia question, who were those 2 Lansing Common players that played? Is Walker well offside? He'll chip the goalkeeper, it doesn't matter. So we'll get that substitution. It will be Isaiah Arredondo who makes way for Blake Barrios.
Substitution for Tulip City.
And as we said earlier, those 2 players in that first game against 1927 Sport Club, do you know who they are, Josh?
I gotta be honest, Cam, I do not.
It is one Isabayo Smith, who is on this roster for Lansing Common, not in the team sheet today, and a very good friend of mine. Love this guy to death. Nick Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Robinson, his one appearance for Lansing Common.
Sorry to see Nick Robinson
with
not
1927 Sport Club. He played in a Lansing Common game, just not for the Robins.
Nick Robinson, a Trine graduate, as we were talking about all the quality in the MIAA in Division III here in Michigan. And plenty of MIAA players have come through Lansing Common, as well as Tulip City.
Just a great guy to be around, to be fair. Great guy.
Nicest man in America.
Always stayed late for practice, stayed early. Coach Oakes had to kick him out multiple times because he was just here training.
Was always putting in time at practice, and also on his fair share of rec league soccer, baseball. The man kept busy in the summers.
A renaissance man of all different sports is back able to dispossess Emmanuel. Now Cromwell dealing with Rosendale. He's forced to play back to Ahmad. Now to the near wing for Dixon. Numbers going forward for the Robins. Dixon around Cromwell. Searching for the left foot. Dietrich pawed it aside. It goes out for a corner kick. The first good opportunity for the Robins since that fourth goal.
Dietrich was cheating far post there. If he hadn't been, he would not have gotten to that. And if Brandon had been able to get it back onto his right foot, the backup keeper would not have had a chance. A gamble there, but one that pays off for the keeper.
Played in by Ahmad. Doesn't beat the first man. Cook sent it out only as far as Beck. Returns the favor back out to Ali Ahmad. Played forward. Off the head. Still in the box. Rosendale taps it in. It won't count as the flag goes up along the near side. The second tap in wasn't what got him offside. It was the first one.
It looked to me like Emmanuel was holding him on the back post, but we, of course, about 70 yards away, don't have as clear a view at it as the AR down there on the sideline.
It's Rosendale arguing with the center official. A yellow card has been shown. And a substitution. We've got a lot of statistical nightmare going on. A substitution, a yellow card, an offside.
It would not be a Lansing Common 2023 home win without a little Daniel Silva.
Silva will make his way onto the pitch in place of Jack Beck, as Silva, everybody's favorite Robin, was the first signing for the club straight off of a tryout back in 2021, making his 16th appearance as the yellow card issued to Noah Dietrich, the first Tulip City player to be shown the cheddar tonight. Now for Dixon, working around Cromwell. The more experienced Cromwell knowing Dixon's ill-favored left foot. Now to Ahmad, working his way into the 18. Dispossessed by Cook. Sent out off a deflection to Hungerford. It goes out for a Tulip City throw. Hungerford in disbelief, along with the bench boss for Lansing Common and Nate Clark.
Not a lot of football left to be played as we cross the 84th minute, but these referees look like they want to see a little bit more.
Looking for Toon, instead too far for him.
Can't say I blame him, it's been exciting, but boy, I don't know what they were looking at there.
Just under 7 minutes remaining here in regular time, in what has been a very eventful day here in mid-Michigan. Dietrich up the pitch for Walker, instead now collected by the Robins.
Dietrich looking like he almost wanted to commit a handball there. Would have been
ill-advised.
A shocking error from the third string keeper for Tulip City.
Dresky with a heavy touch, forced to play it back to Ben Derby. Now for Ahmad, back to Dresky and to Kevin Payne, who, other than the lapse on Jordan Walker's goal, has been perfect so far today. Now Hungerford, playing as a left wing back it seems today. Switches play to the near side for Toon, who's in an offside position. Ball played quickly, almost too quickly now for the center official. As Emmanuel send it back into his near third. As the linesman along the near side has gotten a few groans and grunts from the Lansing Common sideline, and including my partner here up in the booth.
He's been a little aggressive with the flag, Cam, that's all I'll say. Although I'm sure Tulip City fans would agree with me as he waved one away for them as well.
Now for Silva. Hard pass for Dixon. He gets dispossessed by Cromwell. Now for Cook. And over to Emmanuel. This crowd of 503. Enjoy his spirits so far as we hit the final 5 minutes here as the rain starts to pour down.
Fortunately, no rain in the press box.
Now along the far side. Eggers. Played forward for Walker, couldn't settle it down. It rolls through to Spiegel, who calmly collects inside his own 6-yard box. As the weather in Michigan starting to look a lot like the weather in Texas. You know, you don't like it, wait 20 minutes.
I think that joke is operative in every state.
Almost every state, unless you're in Florida. Well, I take that back. Maybe Arizona.
I was in Southern California a couple weeks ago, and they complain about the weather there too.
If you're living in California, there shouldn't really be a lot to complain about, as a mistake between Emmanuel and Cook results in a Lansing Common throw. Lockerbie looking for the head of Rosendale, picked out by Cromwell. Now Ahmad. Playing it back for Ben Derby, the press for Tulip City. Silva trying to get the angle on Lugo, instead ran out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it looks like the newly re-wet turf affected the spin on that a little bit. Went a little bit farther than was intended.
It's Dietrich. Lots of backspin on that, headed down by Ahmad. Back to Lugo, who plays it back to Dietrich. Trouble dealing with it. Rosendale made himself a nuisance. Turned over to the Robins. Ahmad. Still Ahmad. Tried to play through the right foot. Dixon was caught off guard. Instead rolls in on Dietrich, who starts play quickly.
Tulip City loves to put their kickers in awkward positions with the hammered backward passes. Done it a few times to both keepers tonight.
Now to Walker. Played forward for Daniel Ariano. Kept it along the near wing. Trying to work around Lockerbie. Still Ariano played through. Kevin Payne did just enough to deflect it out of harm's way. Sent out for a throw-in by Lockerbie. Now to Rukundu Emmanuel. Just 2 minutes remaining in regular time, awaiting the fourth official signal on any added time. We expect there will be at least 2.
Cam, you were talking about Texas. We've got an audience question. How do you feel about Raising Cane's?
As a foul committed by Dresky. Walker going down in a heap, as it'll be another free kick in a dangerous area for the Tulips, and a grade A opportunity for them to make things interesting here as the rain's still falling down. So that's a little bit of a low blow there, Josh. I don't know if you saw somebody's Snapchat story last night, but I do dabble into the Canes a little bit.
Cannot dislike my partner. He's calm, he's cool, he's collected.
Joshua Cook, free kick about 25 yards from goal.
And both these
Straight
sides,
down Broadway.
I've noticed tonight, but throughout the season, have quite a few free kick specialists. This is the first one that'll be taken with the right foot by Tulip City.
Cook stands over this dangerous set piece. Cook well over the bar. Spiegel was there in case it made its way down. It's Cook with his hands in his face. Knew that that was the moment that could have drawn things within 1.
believe I see a 3 down there. That is right. We're gonna see 3 minutes of extra time.
And here comes Dixon with a burst of speed. Lugo did just enough, got the ball. Referee says play on.
For the first time tonight, the referee does not call a foul for a man coming through the back. Brandon Dixon, unbelievable speed there. Somehow they caught up to him and knocked him over.
It'll be a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time as we've hit the end of the initial 90. 180 seconds standing between Lansing Common and their first ever victory over Tulip City. Ahmad with a slight time waste over to Hungerford. Played in for Dixon. Looping cross, that one won't test the head of Rosendale. Instead, leaping up was Dietrich. Picked off by Rosendale. Rosendale doing just enough. A mental error there by Rakundo Emmanuel results in a Lansing Common throw, as once again the Robins can waste valuable time here with that comfortable 2-goal lead.
For a second there, you weren't sure which team had the 2-goal lead as Emmanuel dribbled into the corner and then popped it out of bounds.
Played off the head of Ahmad into the arms of Dietrich, who will start things quickly.
Dietrich also, Cam, with his last save, just about fell backwards into the goal. Little awkward with the looping cross.
Timmer, pressured there by Ahmad. Played out by Dietrich once again, as the netminders for Tulip City have been under fire both from their own team and from Lansing Common. Ahmad tried to play it quickly through, couldn't beat Timmer. Instead, beat Dixon, who will lose the 50-50. Played along the far side by Barrios, and now into the middle of the park for Jordan Walker. The lead man once again for Tulip City, dispossessed by Silva, rolls through to Daniel Ariano. Played out by Lockerbie. Walker to Daniel Ariano. Now Abe Ariano. So we've hit the final 60 seconds here of the minimum 3 added minutes. Long ranger from Eggers, that one won't test Spiegel. Through the uprights, says one of the men there on the bench for Tulip City.
Plenty of audacious attempts from long distance from both sides tonight.
Spiegel will usher his men forward. Up for Toon, instead collected by Emmanuel. Now for Abe Ariana. His pass intercepted by Dresky, finds Rosendale. Here comes the counter for Lansing Common. Rosendale along the near side, looking for Dixon. Well off his line was Dietrich. Played out the far wing for Lugo.
Tulip City's back line just all drawn to Rosie there. Left Brandon completely alone on the opposite side of the box. A little bit of an interesting decision.
As Walker's long-range effort makes its way well away from the goal, the referee checks his watch. That may be just what the doctor ordered, as Lansing Common looks as though Spiegel will have the last kick of the game as we've hit the minimum 3 minutes. Referee letting play continue. Collected by Timmer. Headed forward by Dresky. As Mod in an offside position. The result in another free kick for Tulip City. As we approach 4 minutes of added time. Maybe time for one last goal for either side here in the waning moments of this one. Played forward, looking for Eggers. Quick off his line, Spiegel. And that will do it. When they needed it most, the Robins came up and delivered. 4 goals and a quick scare from the visitors of Tulip City negated any sort of a whitewashing by Lansing Common, as the Robins get their first victory over the Tulips and keep their Great Lakes West Division title hopes alive. Josh, it was a very good one that the home crowd of 503 fans would love to have.
Back and forth all night, Cam. Like you said, 500 fans, got quite a show tonight. I got a text about 10 minutes into this game that said, we're going to need 3 goals tonight. And he was proven correct as Tulip City gets 2 late ones. But just a really impressive showing from 2 of the Midwest Premier League's best.
And as we saw last year, it started with Jack Voigt opening his account of the game, looking like vintage Jack Voigt from last season. Then it was the show in the midfield and the forwards. Fetty Omar getting his first goal as a Robin, the younger brother of the all-time goal scorer in Shetty Omar, with a first half goal. Capitalized again, the Robins did, with Kalavitz's goal to make it 3-0, and the brace by Fetty Omar enough as Robins walk-away victors over Tulip City United by a score of 4-2. As that will do it from us. We would like to thank everybody from our production team and our production manager, Scott Oberlander, and from Josh Pugh, I'm Cameron McLaren saying good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.